Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my, feature sessions. Today I want to show off these two Mercedes AMG GTRs that we just recently finished, and they're getting ready to be boxed up and shipped off to Panama. So I'm going to just go through some of the features with you guys and just show you, some of the stuff that was done to these cars that I thought was really cool. First of all, these AMG GTRs are maybe the top of my list of favorite cars to work on right now. Basically, just the features they come with, the craftsmanship, basically the plastic and how everything is just so well put together. I really like working on these cars, and then they just look really nice to me. Like, I love the look of them, and the potential is ridiculous. So these are basically the top of my list of favorite cars to work on right now, and I would recommend this basically to anybody. Shout out to bigtoysdirect.com. That's where, that's my supplier, of course, and where I get them from. So if you're interested in looking into getting one of these cars, that's the place to be, or the place to go check them out. But let's take a look at some of these features. First of all, as you can see, it's already, it's lowered. We have some custom wheels on there, and this is basically, if you saw the video that I've done on how to make wheels, this is basically the same type of situation where you cut it out, you use your inserts as far as the bowl or pan or whatever you want to use, and then this one is outfitted with a set of retrofitted Lamborghini SV wheels. If you guys haven't recognized them right now, that's exactly what they are, and they really fit this car really nice, and they seem to just be so perfect for this. The way the build came out, as far as with the wide body and the way the wheels look, is just a match made in heaven, in my opinion. If you take a look on the inside, I redid the dash a little bit to fit this stereo system. So basically removing everything on this side of the dash and then building this custom piece right here to kind of have the radio sit in there the way it sits. Also had to relocate the light switch, which is usually located on this side of the shifter, to under here, to actually, no, the light switch is located here, and I switched it over with the speed and the light switch, and then replaced the light switch under here, kind of hidden, but still accessible. So if you turn on the car, of course, the rear lights come on. Then you have the headlights that kind of shine with the RGB type, like a daytime running type light. And then you hit the light switch, and then that's how the headlights come on and off. So, and that's actually a stock feature that comes with the car. Like, the way the lights are is so beautiful, and it comes like that from stock. I didn't have to do anything, and I would not change anything as far as the headlights concerned. Now, the only other upgrade besides the wide body and the wheels that was done to this car is the stereo system. All you have to do is you hit the big button, it turns on, and then here goes your screen, and you could play whatever you want to play, your DVD player. If you have an auxiliary you want to plug into it, like a video game or anything like that, you could kind of do that. Right now it's on just regular radio mode. If you hit this button, it's touchscreen. You go to audio, video, or whatever. There's no signal because nothing is actually plugged into it, but that's basically how the radio works. So if you take a look back here on the, behind the seat rest, we have our two speakers, our Pioneer speakers, and they're pretty loud. And basically that's where that's located on this car. As like I said, part of the features that was incorporated into the car. So we took out that little 3-inch speaker or whatever it comes with, and threw in two 6.5s. And yeah, that's basically the features of this car. And like I said, this is what I consider one of the. It's not mild, but it's not wild. It's like an in between, because the over fenders and stuff like that, kind of makes it not like a regular normal build. But it looks really nice to me, and I really love it. But let's move on to the the quote unquote Batmobile, so to speak. This car has a good amount of work done to it. As you can see, just like its brother over there, it has the same wide body kit, same front splitter, side splitter, rear like that. The difference with this one, I kind of added this a little bit more to the side splitter, which brings it up into the fender a little bit more for a more aggressive look. Because when you think about the Batmobiles, you're thinking about like some crazy lines and wings and all kinds of stuff going on like that. I didn't want to get too crazy with it, but crazy enough that it's not over the top. Also with the hood, I wanted to do something a little different, so I kind of started doing little cutouts to give it a more aggressive look. As to you'll see it and kind of think, yeah, that's pretty crazy. It looks, it does look kind of Batmobile-esque a little bit, so to speak. And then we had the seats kind of done up by E3 Customs. Shout out to them. Matt from E3 Customs. We threw a little Batman logo. We didn't want to do anything crazy. We wanted to keep it a little bit simple because the Batmobile is not like really flashy, but flashy at the same time, because it's black everything, but you don't want to go, hey, everybody look at me. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But so we kept it simple with the logo on the seats. And then we also added this wing, this handmade wing, wrapped in the same, carbon fiber, just like the fenders are. And just make it look like, kind of like a bat wing, or the little boomerang thing that he throws. That's basically where the idea for the wing came from. His little gadgets that he kinds of throws around and sticks in the wall, whatever. I figured, let me incorporate that into the wing and do like a really cool looking wing that sort of resembles that. Also with the yellow on the seat, because everything is blacked out. Picture the car basically being, the Dark Knight, and the yellow is like the bat signal. That's where I came from with that concept, as this just being the bat signal shining through the light. That's why it's like the only thing that's bright yellow on the car. So just bear with me. I just the things that go through my mind, and just making it happen. So once again, shout out to E3 for helping me make my vision come through with the seats. But let's move on now into the car itself. And as you can see, it has the same stereo setup like the other one, except for this one is a little bit more involved. Now this one, once again, I had to redo the dash, do the same kind of console for the stereo to sit in there. Let's turn the car on, I'll show you. And then if you turn it on, push the on button, you open it up, we have the same screen and everything going on with this one. And as you can see, we have the speaker and the footrest. We push the audio video in, and this one has a really cool feature. If you take a look at this button right here, this button turns on and off the games console that I have built in to the dashboard, so to speak. So you hit this button, and we have a retro gaming system that we put on here that has about 40 games, 40 Sega Genesis games. It's kind of like an old school type thing to it. Let me tilt the screen a little bit for you. And then there you go. So we take our controller, which the plugs is 2 controllers. We have 2 ports for the controllers underneath the dash, like I said, built in. And you can kind of select all these different games. One of my favorite games of all time is Sonic the Hedgehog, so I'm just gonna select Sonic if I could find him. There we are. And yeah, there it goes, just like regular TV. So the child could kind of sit in the car, you could play different games, or in between driving, you just could relax and just do whatever, entertain himself or his passenger. And then once they're finished playing their game, they just just turn the radio off, and everything will go back to however it was. And yeah, that's that as far as the features with the radio, the video game, stuff like that. All right. Now that I've shown you the radio and the video game system that's incorporated into the dash, the one more thing I wanted to show you, if you come over here and take a look, you'll notice there's a gauge that's sitting in the steering wheel, a digital gauge sitting in the steering wheel with 2 zeros. What this represents is the front and rear suspension. And this is here because, yes, the car is also bagged. And we bagged it using one of our custom air ride kits that we make, using the HKI Air guys. Shout out to them, HKI Air. I use their system a lot when I'm bagging these cars. It's really simple. It's really easy to do. And actually, when I get to the video as far as showing you guys how to bag these little cars, I will, you will see the reason why I run their system, because it's just so nice and simple to run on these little cars as it is your real car. So you look at this gauge. I have the keychain, and you just you hit A, you hit the front up, and then you hit the rear up, and so on and so forth. And then you look at the gauge. The gauge is actually telling you how much PSI is in there. It usually only takes about 5, maybe 10 PSI to raise it, depending on how much weight you have in the car at the time. Then you can also air it out with the same button. Now, the thing about this right now is, because there's no weight in the car, and I really don't have usually I'll put a spring setup to kind of pull it back down. It's not going to air down all the way without any weight. It'll go down pretty much as far as it could go, but it goes really low, lower than this. Once again, thank you guys for bearing with me with all my talking and stuff like that, and subscribe, hit that like button, and then subscribe again, and then unlike it, and then like it again. I don't know if that helps or do anything, but whatever you do, hit that subscribe button, share the video. I appreciate your support, all that good stuff, and more videos will be coming, I promise you. Thank you guys. See you later. One last thing I wanted to show you that I actually wasn't planning on showing you in this video, but I do want to give you an idea of the amount of work that goes into, like, for instance, the air ride system and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you underneath the hood. This is like some classified Area 51 type stuff. Listen, don't tell nobody. This is just between us. So I'm gonna show you my air ride system and kind of give you an idea of how I incorporate it in such small cars. So right now I didn't have the hood bolted down or anything like that. And of course I made another cover because of the cutouts in the hood. I didn't want you to just look right through and see wires and all kinds of other stuff going on. So we just kind of make another cover to block that off. Let me throw that on my trusty hammock. You're probably wondering, why is there a hammock in the background? Because I'm here 18 hours a day, busting my behind, and sometimes I just want to take a cat nap. No, I don't live here, but that's why it's there if you're wondering. So let's take a look at the underneath the dash. Now, first thing you'll notice is this big HKI air pump. Well, the first thing you actually notice is these wires. These are for the headlights, and that's how it comes from factory. So I have to basically try to run them around, but they're not long enough. So they're kind of sitting here for now. I'll clean it up a little bit more in a few. But you have your HKI air pump, and you have your distribution block right here. These two are for the digital gauge. They're new digital gauges that screws right into the side of the block. And then here you have the brain that's mounted on the front. And basically this is, and a lot of people ask me, so where's the tank? I run tankless. Usually there's no need for a tank on such a small confined space, especially where it only takes 2 to 5 PSI to lift or lower one of these cars. It doesn't take much, so there's really no need for a tank. In certain cases I do run tanks, but for the most part it's not necessary. It's just something I would do extra, just I guess to show, for display purposes. But you have your bag set up, and then as you can see, and it's hard to see right now because of the all the wiring that's going on, but this is basically a single bag in the front, single bag in the rear. That's how most of them are, unless I want to have a control of individual wheels, and if you want to do like 3-wheel motion and stuff like that. But that's for my more extreme air ride setups. But yeah, so this is basically the air ride setups that I use on these small cars. The pump, distribution block, you have your brain, and you have your single bag in the front, and you have a single bag in the rear, and it's built in a way where it's compact and kind of sits where it needs to sit. And you come over here, you have your fuse box, you have all your fuses that controls everything. That if anything goes bad or whatever, it'll blow the fuse first. Nothing is wired like straight in to the point where you have something happen and it just kind of starts melting wires or anything like that. It's all fuse box like a real car. And yeah, well, almost all of my builds have fuse boxes like that if you're going to be running like an air ride system or anything like that. So okay, so another thing I want to show you as far as the car is concerned is, you take a look, and let me take out these seats to show you, because we're discussing the air system. So I wanted to show you, I showed you the front, let me show you the rear and how that looks, because I think you'll be really surprised to see that when you come back here and you lift these seats up, and this is the stock location of the batteries on these cars. You take these seats out and it's still retained as the stock location of the batteries. So nothing was really touched on the inside of the car as far as the air is concerned. I built everything as far as the frame work and the suspension and everything like that is built around everything that's like the stock form of the car. So you want to tinker with the batteries or unplug them, plug them up, whatever, everything is still retained in the stock form. And you would never know this car was on air until the child or the parent pushes that button and air it up or air it out. So the only thing that really got cut into was the front, because the front, I needed space to put the pump and different things like that. But that's what it comes down to when it comes to these different cars, especially these smaller ones. It's all about planning and trying to figure out how you're going to incorporate all this stuff into such a small space. And that's the challenge for me, and my favorite part when it comes to doing this air thing, because I like to have it where you can't just look at the car and tell it's on air. It just looks like a regular car.